is Jalen Hurts too handsome?
I was going to say he could legitimately put your daughter in a mental hospital if it doesn't go well. The definition of aura, I feel like is
Hurts. The aura is glimmering off those perfectly white teeth and very shiny diamond earrings.
Like, I'm fat. I'm fixing that. But not like a funny fat where like we played with dudes who just had beer guts and it was funny when they took their shirt off. Like I take my shirt off and it's just like, dude, put that back on. Come on.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is. Dude. I'm self-aware enough. I understand.
You don't got like, I feel like you're a guy that has a little bit of like bricklayer under there. I mean, like it's not like it's just exuding off of your body. Like,
yeah, but it's not cool to like have the dad bod when you're 25 and not a dad.
Yeah, bro. But you're also like, I mean, that's just like the way you're built like a tree trunk. It's just the way it is. Like
that is correct. Like I'm built as if I was supposed to be a much shorter man.
You think so?
And I just like, happen to be 6'4".
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. You got the stature to be an NFL center. That's for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I wasn't so bad at football, I could have made it.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
For real, like this is my delusion. If I would have just went like D2 or D3 and dominated people, I think I could have at least gotten a look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny? I think about that all the time. Like,
yeah,
what you could have done at a lower level, but then at the same time, well, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at it, but it's like then you wouldn't have maybe turned into the player that you ended up being. I don't know. That's a weird way to think about it.
But you're also playing a lower competition level.
Right. You're just dusting dudes.
Truthfully, like you know this and people could say like it's delusion or whatever, but we played the best players in the country in practice. Like the games were easy.
100%.
Especially when I went in.
Speaking of NFL bodies and playing against the best people, how about our man Gray Zabel last week, dude? Just ate it up.
Yeah, and like it wasn't like a hey sneaky draft riser. It was the first day of the Senior Bowl practices. Like this is the best interior offensive lineman here.
Yeah, who was it that said that on day one on Twitter? It was one of the not Renner, but
yeah, it was all of them. All those
yeah,
PFF
it was all
dorks.
of them. Yeah, but there was like one like I can't remember who exactly it was. Like one actual draft analyst guy who I respect that said that immediately. But yeah, he was just out there tossing people around. That was great.
Yeah, it's just I mean you know it too. Of like Gray in that class were the last class of guys that I played with, and they were all children when they showed up. And now it's like Cam is a legit.
Right,
like stone cold killer in his last season, and then Gray was like a baby deer doofus tripping over himself, having to start in the spring game seasons.
That's
and now
wild.
he's going to be like potentially a late first round pick.
I remember, not that Gray would ever watch this, but no offense, Gray, but like I remember in like the old group chats, like it was just like, yeah, we're starting like a baby deer out there, like literally. And I had no idea who he was at the time. So, I mean, that's the same, like you said, though, same thing with Cam, just like watching those guys in 2020, 2021 to where they are now. Oh my goodness. That's why I'll never, sorry to interrupt. I'll never understand how these guys are freaks, but like the guys who go to Big 10 schools, Big 12 schools, SEC, whatever, and start right away and then like go to the NFL at age 19, 20. Do you know like how different you have to be able to do that? Because like you think about a guy like Cam Miller or like on a grander scale, like I don't know, Bo Nix, like guys who came in and were just like needed development over 4 or 5 years. And then there's some guys who just got it like right away. And
I remember even like watching football when I was younger, like within the last, I don't know, 12 to 15 years, where it was pretty rare if a rookie at any position was playing in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Now it's like dudes play 2 years in college and then are starting immediately.
Do you think, how much of that do you think is players or athletes in general are just that much better nowadays versus how much of it is the way the style of the game has changed to allow more for the more talented guys to play earlier? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of the game style changing and just in the fact of the physicality part of it. Where, like, if you're playing if you're a Mike linebacker and you were 200 pounds in high school, you weren't seeing the college field till you were like 245, 250.
Right.
And that's a 3, 4, 5 year process. And then it's like, okay, great. Now you're in the NFL and it's London Fletcher and he's 260. And you just had to be that big and that physical to play back then. And it's just not necessary anymore.
It's not the way. I mean, you got half of these guys playing in the box now are 5 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Like, I mean, dude, here's an interesting segue. Zach Baun for the Eagles. I mean, first team All-Pro.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl season. Barely, I mean, not barely sniffed, but like was only a special teamer last year. So when I was in high school, he was in the same grade as me coming out of Wisconsin. And he went to Brown Deer High School, broke all sorts of quarterback rushing records. And insane. This dude played QB at like 215, 220 pounds in high school and ran a 10.79 or like a 10.81 in the 100 at the state championship. And that was the first time I ever met him. I met him at the state championship. This was like 2 days before I moved to Fargo. And I see this big old buff bald dude. He was bald in high school, bro. He knew he was going bald like sophomore year of high school. I swear to God.
I respect that.
Yeah, and he's been bald ever since. And this dude ran for like thousands of yards as a quarterback, runs a 10.7, 10.8 or whatever, and now he's playing inside the box as a first team All-Pro guy. And like, not that he's not incredibly talented, but like you probably wouldn't have seen him touch the box 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Right. And it's
so
just
interesting.
Like, guys just born in the wrong era of like, dude, imagine if Hunter Lipke was born in 1985.
Oh my God.
They would have strapped him to a plane after that Montana State national title and been like, you're the first overall draft pick.
Dude, 100%. 100%.
I feel like, God, who else is like that? Dan Marino, if he was 20 years younger.
Yeah.
He was thrown for 5,000 yards like when you could decapitate people. That's insane.
That is nuts, man. God. It's, you wonder, like, I don't know. It's like, you wonder, I mean, I always thought about this, but obviously it's just, you can't look in hindsight, but it's like, you wonder what a guy like, even like at my size, 6'2", 6'3", 210, like what that would have even been 50, like what would that position have even been like 20 years ago? I don't know. It's so interesting.
Bro, if I was 6'4", 290 my senior year of high school, but my senior year of high school was 1982, I would have been playing at Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
God, the game is just different. I was listening to a pod today, and it was like, these guys were talking about, it was actually a motocross podcast. I used to race motocross. I don't know if you ever knew that until I was like 14. And so I kind of still into it a little bit, and I was listening to it, and they were talking about the best racers in the sport. Like, they do so well that sometimes they try to switch over to other sports and like play or race NASCAR or like race dirt track stuff or whatever. And the guy had a comment where it was like, at this day and age, if you are at the top of your class as like any athlete, you have to be literally an alien.
Yeah.
To be like at the top of any sport nowadays, like athletics and just athletes in general have become legitimate aliens across all sports. The top level is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I
mean, dude, the stuff you see, like Myles Garrett dunking basketballs and like, I mean, just like that's an obvious extreme example, but I mean, Jesus, dude, these guys are nuts.
Yeah, but it's not really like obviously Myles Garrett is a different animal, but like I bet 85% of defensive ends in the NFL could yam a basketball.
Oh, probably more than that, dude. And like,
what's that number in 1993? Much lower.
Very few. Very few.
I don't mean to typecast, but I'm going to guess that Trey Hendrickson is the only one who couldn't dunk a basketball.
That's so true.
Dude, he is like a low-key slept-on guy in this era. He's a bucket getter.
You know, we're not talking about actual basketball, are we?
No, I steal that phrase from Chris Long when he talks about getting buckets. That was getting home.
Yes.
But like, I think he had 17 sacks this year, and it's like multiple 10+ seasons for him now.
He's sneaky. I mean, wait, they haven't decided any of the Player of the Year stuff, obviously, right? I've been a little out of touch the last couple weeks just because I've been so sad. Well, that and like so sad that football's coming to an end and that we're down to these two teams. So I've just been a little sad the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But have they announced any of that?
So it's been voted on already, but it has not been announced yet, I don't think.
I mean, he has a legitimate chance. Hendrickson has a legitimate chance of winning DPOY.
Yeah, and I think your guy Baun could be up there too.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up around the ball. I mean, dude,
if he's not punching the ball out, he's jumping on it.
He's jumping on it 100%.
Dude, that's a fast way to make money. Like, we always heard NDSU coaches talk about that, of like, just be around the football and good things happen.
The ball.
He's going to get another fat contract because of this season.
Huge. And you can just see it out there, like the confidence in him, too.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. But yeah, either of those two guys, if either of those two guys got DPOY, that would be incredible. And they deserve it. Each of them deserve it.
Yep.
Dang, man.
The craziest part, like, you talk about the size difference. Like, if you went up to Buddy Ryan in 1985 and said, here's Derwin James, he's going to rush the passer 20 times this season, he would have spit in your face. You're telling me 6'1", 6'2", 220 is going to drop down in the box and rush the passer? And now, not only that, he did it, and he was our most effective pass rusher, us being the Chargers.
Yeah, and that it just goes to what we were saying before. And, like, I mean, Derwin James could play 6 positions on defense. On defense alone. Like, he could legitimately play both safeties, a nickel. I mean, throw him at corner. Could play an edge rusher. Could play all 3 backers, like, whatever he wanted. And that's the type of athlete that's taken over now. I mean, for our example is Brillo Cox. Like, I mean, that was the first guy that I'd ever been around that it was like, oh, this is where football is going. Like, I don't know if I got a future, man.
Him, Rado, and Trey were the guys I was like, oh, it's okay. This is
different.
This is not for me.
This is different.
Yeah, I'm going to be selling barbecue sauce.
Oh, man. Speaking of barbecue, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna give you a little bump here. Sweet hats.
Appreciate it.
Everyone check out BigDeckBarbecueSauce.com and grab one of these new, really fresh A-frame hats. I'll be wearing one of these on the golf course here soon.
Yes.
Really sharp, man.
We're gonna drop a certain college in Fargo, North Dakota's colors.
Oh, I wonder, NDSCS.
I think they have a satellite campus in Fargo, but not the one I was thinking of. Yeah,
got it.
So now, if these Learfield guys are watching this, they can't say a word to me.
That's great, man. Well, it looks great.
Appreciate it.
Shoot, I mean, we kind of just dove in there, but man, welcome to whatever we got going on here. I think we're gonna call this thing the Role Player Podcast. This is episode 1. Honestly, we weren't even sure how we want to go about formatting this. We've been workshopping ideas forever, but we're both incredibly busy dudes with multiple hands in multiple baskets.
Yes.
So just figuring out time to sit down and actually thoughtfully put something together has taken a while. But here we are. We tried an episode a few weeks back. It didn't go exactly how we wanted, and honestly, just we wanted it to be more natural, and I think we're already off to a much better start here. So
yeah, agreed. It also could just be like a hilarious running bit if these clips take off, like kind of we had talked about, and then there's actually no podcast.
Yeah, we just do clips only.
Yeah,
just do clips only. Which
it's just like some encryption file that we like hint with people that they have to crack it, and there's just no podcast episode.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. You know what we should do is only release clips and then put this podcast behind a paywall somewhere, and then just make people make like there will be like our parents and like a couple family of friends that pay us like $5 to watch each episode. So maybe we'll do that.
It's worth a shot, man.
Yeah, worth a shot. Anyway, I'm Jaxon Brown. This is Zach Willis. If anyone doesn't know, maybe, I mean, I guess some of you won't. Me and Zach played together at North Dakota State a few years back from 2017 through 2020, I believe. Yep,
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, we're old, man.
Yeah, we're getting up there. I found a gray hair in my beard the other day.
I have a million. It's so bad.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I skipped gray, dude. It just went to white. They're like platinum white.
Come on.
Yeah.
You talking about like, are we talking beard hairs, hair hairs? Are we talking chest hairs?
Hair. It is white.
Brother,
I'm cool with that,
tough.
man. Like,
Yeah,
the silver is acceptable now.
Absolutely. A little bit of a, what do they call it? A silver fox?
Yeah.
You're on your way.
What's way fatter than a fox? Silver bear. That might get me into a different online community I don't want to be a part of.
Yes. The silver bear is great.
$20 is $20, dog, if they want to pay for my services.
That's crazy. Wow, man. The silver bear. I think we got to go with that.
The silver bear is kind of fire.
That's super good because it's not a polar. Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. Well, what else is new, Zach? You're working a full-time gig in marketing. You're doing your own business. Give people a rundown for those who maybe are just getting introduced to you.
Yeah. So I graduated in 2021. I'll just start there. Marketing degree, was going to go into industrial engineering. Wasn't good enough at math. Was then going to go into physical therapy. Was not good enough at science. So I tested into a business degree, and I went with marketing. So shout out the NDSU School of Business. I'm sure they love this endorsement.
Yeah, they're listening.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Graduated in 2021, sold advertising for 6 months. Got tired of that and just kind of took the leap of faith like you did of running your own deal, where it's like, man, I don't really have a plan. I don't know if it's going to work out, but, you know, what better time than now?
Yeah.
And then did that full time up until last September, where, you know, equipment and, you know, inventory needs just make things go a lot faster. I had a lot of open time during the week. So took on a full-time job as a marketing specialist. Have honestly really, like, you were doing my editing stuff before for my business. I had no idea how to do any of it. Now, like, I'm moderately proficient in Premiere and video editing and how to shoot and make stuff look good. So really developed as a professional now. But yeah, so truthfully, I just am a yapper, and now that I see stuff, like, I'm either calling my buddies or calling my dad to, like, I'm like, I might as well just save these ideas and turn it into content.
Absolutely, man. That's the way it should be for anyone who excels in the yapping category, such as myself.
Oof, man. Like, I multiple times, like, it's hour plus phone calls, so I can just go, oh yeah.
Yeah, you need this. You need this outlet, then, for sure.
For real. Like, my fiance is getting real tired of me, but it's also been 13 years, so not a lot she can do.
That's insane for you, man. I'm so happy for you, but that is crazy.
It is crazy, and like,
you know how rare that is, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
But I'm also so thankful that, like, I never had to go through, like, the college dating scene. That looked miserable.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You landed a great one as well, so also good for you.
I sure did. Shout out to Lex. NDSU legend. NDSU legend, man. That's what some of my friends that I've introduced Lex to, they don't like know the Lexi Woods lore at NDSU, so I gotta brag on her a little bit when I get the chance.
I'm sure she loves that.
Yeah, she absolutely hates it. But well, Zach here is. I guess I'll just kind of give a super brief intro, but like, I'm trying to build this thing that I've started, which is Muse Media. I think over a year and a half ago now. It was August 2023. I quit my full-time job as a creative associate or marketing associate, I guess, at a appliance company out of Wisconsin, and I let that go for pursuing what I do now full-time, and that is I'm kind of a freelance slash single member business. Well, now hopefully 2-man business with my guy Zach here, hopefully helping me out. We got some great things planned, and I really hope Zach becomes a big part of the team here for me. But anyway, basically I've just been pursuing this thing as a solo operation to bring other people's content dreams to life, I guess. I've got like 4, 5, 6 clients now where I am doing full-fledged media production for a few different podcasts, people's brands, their social media accounts, doing basically anything that you can think of in the media space. And a lot of it has been kind of funneled into the podcast and like entertainment space. I've learned a ton about the industry and, what it takes to be successful in this sort of industry, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to capitalize off that, to maximize the skills that I've developed now over the last few years. And shoot, man, I'm having a blast doing what I'm doing, and it's been a lot of hard work to get to where we're at now, but I'm just super stoked to be able to work for myself and have a lot of interest in what I'm doing. Yeah. And be able to make stuff like we're making right here, right now for a bunch of other people who are looking to build their companies and their brands and their personas online as well. So,
yep,
that's all I know, man.
Yeah, dude, truthfully, it's like I see this thing from both sides. As a business owner myself, traditional media and marketing has gotten so expensive. If you're going to do print or TV or paid advertising, you have to leverage organic, unpaid content. As you know, the problem with that is the legwork. It's easy to shoot stuff, but when you sit down at your computer, you don't realize how fast 6 hours goes.
Oh my God.
Putting together a video.
It's been like really eye-opening too, because shoot, man, I mean, my introduction to video and this whole sort of industry was in high school when I didn't have Huddle to get myself recruited to college for the sport I loved. And so I had to take things into my own hands, because that was kind of the era where it was like highlight videos are becoming a large part in the recruiting, aspect of things. And like, sure, people always had highlight videos and films they would send to coaches and stuff, but the first of like the digital era was kind of our era. Yeah. And so I had to learn how to take raw film from a CD and turn that into a complete highlight video. And, you learn really quick how long of a process that is. And first off, getting a jump on it as early as I did, like in high school, with just organically and like no real world teaching. I think that it was a blessing in disguise as well, because I just taught myself everything, and now I know how to look for things. I know how to figure stuff out. I'm solution oriented, and like I just feel like really comfortable with anything that has to do with media production. So like you said, when someone has an idea, and like when I have an idea for media and entertainment, it's like having the idea and shooting the content is great, but like actually making that idea come to fruition is a whole different job. Like it's a full-time job. Yep. It takes hours upon hours. And, if you're as lucky as I have been to be able to spend a lot of time on it and make some income off of it, you start to get quicker and quicker and more efficient and more efficient. And when you can take on a big workload for other people while, still enjoying what you're doing, it's awesome. So glad to be in this position and be able to do this fun stuff.
Yeah, dude, staying busy but also doing what you like is a good way to make the days go by.
I think that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well,
good spot to be in.
Good spot to be in. We're in a great spot right now, sitting here in front of you guys. Hopefully we'll be releasing this on YouTube. Let's put it on Spotify, put it on whatever. Really hope you guys enjoy what we can bring to the table. Zach, anything else you wanna start off with, or should we just dive into some random conversation?
Let's just dive in, man. I wanted to start first. There has never been a bigger downgrade in championship trophies than from the BCS era crystal ball to the college football national championship trophy now. Bring back the crystal ball.
Absolutely. I've never thought about that. That's a phenomenal take there.
The pictures of like Saban and Les Miles, or I don't even know if Les Miles won one, but holding the crystal ball, dude, so much aura.
Oh, aura. Wow. New terminology.
And this can spin into a deeper conversation, but I think that's up there with like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, 100%. In terms of like the physical, like material.
Yeah.
Trophy. Yeah, absolutely.
Because Lombardi's kind of overrated.
Yeah. I mean, it's iconic.
Yeah.
It's iconic, but like you're right in terms of the actual design and look of it.
Baseballs looks like a mini Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, the NBA Finals one is what do they call that? The what the hell is that called? Yep. Yeah. The O'Brien Trophy. I mean, that's kind of the same as the NFL. It's just a ball on a stand.
Right.
Now the crystal ball, man, is like, it's funny you say that. I just like immediately think of Vince Young holding that thing up.
Yeah.
Dude, iconic. And that might be the best trophy in sports.
It has to be up there. And I think the only conversation is one, the optics, like the actual, whatever you want to say, the shape, the look of the Stanley Cup is cool. One, because it's gargantuan. Two, it travels to every player's home city. Three, you can drink out of it. But it's also got like all the names of everybody on there.
Yeah.
But just
that's good, man.
Of like, you win the net. You're the best team in the country, and you get to hold a crystal ball.
That's what it's all about.
That rocks.
That's a really cool thing. Speaking of which, I mean, unless you had some final thoughts,
no.
Shoot, man, you're a somewhat Notre Dame fan. I got to tell you, I know they obviously didn't come out on top, but I think the first, what did they end up playing? 4 games in the playoff or 3 games? They played
4.
India. Okay, 4. Those first 3 games, man. It's not that I was like thinking that they were gonna, underperform or lose or whatever, but just the amount that Notre Dame team overachieved.
Yeah.
This year, especially towards the end, like, I mean, that final game, man, they shouldn't have even been in the game, but they just found a way. It felt like they just fought and clawed. That was a fun end to the season. And that's exactly why the 12-team playoff is what it should be.
Correct. I think both the teams that played in the national title would have been left out of a 14 playoff.
100%.
So it's just a better format. You can talk about like changing the seeds and
sure,
who gets home games, whatever. But the 12 team is the correct number because I think 16 gets a little crazy.
That's a little wonky.
And I think the FBS is better suited for 24 than the FCS is, truthfully.
FBS is suited better for the FCS with 24. How do you mean?
There are not 24 FCS football teams to create competitive football games throughout the playoffs.
No, 100%. 100%.
It wasn't, we never overlooked anybody, but you and I and everybody in the locker room knew that when the University of San Diego came to town, it's a game for guys like you and me to play.
Exactly. That was my only, shout out. That was my only interception of my career versus San Diego, man. And I dropped a pick 6 too. That hurt. Coach Klanderman got on me pretty bad after that one.
That's also not to dog the University of San Diego because they're not scholarship. They do very impressive things, but
they sure do. No, but you're 100% right. I mean, honestly, you could even say that about the first 2 rounds, but it was only like the top couple teams that could say that about the first 2 rounds.
Right.
But damn near the top, you're right. The top 12 teams could say that about the first round for sure. Most of the time.
I think 12 is just the right number, dude, for
12
both.
12's a great number.
Yeah.
But the other, I mean, I could maybe see 16 if you eliminate a non-conference game at the beginning of the season or eliminate conference championships.
I think that's the way it needs to go.
16 with 4 first-round buys.
And no conference championships.
Right. I think that's the way.
First 2 rounds, home games.
Yep. That's great.
And then instead of seeding it won't matter because there's no conference champions.
Right.
But just take the 1 through 16 AP ranking or whatever coaches poll, and those are the seeds.
Boom. We fixed college football.
Yeah, and truthfully, like, you can, whatever downside you say is that made the first year of the 12-team playoff a debacle, it was better than any 14 playoff there was.
100%. And I mean, you just said it. Like, neither of the 2 teams that were in the championship would have been there without it. And that just goes to show you what we've possibly been missing out on the last X amount of years. Like, there are so many instances, especially when it was before the 4-team. Like, when it was just the BCS era, like, the amount of teams that were left out of contention when they were probably peaking at the right times at the end of the season, but had a early season loss or whatever the case may be. I would kill to go see some of those teams play in a 12-team format.
Dude, it was a legit, like, death sentence if you lost a football game in conference.
Wild.
It was crazy.
Wild. But it also, there's something to be said about that era, too, because it made every game so damn meaningful. Oh, my God. It made every single game meaningful, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for a 12-team by any means.
No, and there were people who were opponents to the 12-team playoff, like, talking it's going to dilute rivalry games. And it's like, you don't understand college football if you think Michigan and Ohio State aren't going to play to the death every time they play.
Yeah, you don't know ball if that's even an argument in your arsenal.
Nerds are ruining the sport, Jaxon. I'm tired of seeing PFF and because they make fun of box score watchers, right? And they say, like, oh, you just look at attempts and completions. You're doing nothing different if you're not turning on the film and watching with the context of what's happening on the football field.
It's the exact same thing.
Yes.
I'm seeing some of these guys pop up at the Super Bowl media day or whatever the hell it is, and I'm like, what in the fuck do you know about? You don't know shit from Shinola.
Correct. You don't have to, you just have to be like loud and get lucky. It's all these like 50, 60-year-old guys that made it in radio. Like they just knew a guy who knew a guy. It's not for talent's sake. Look at Colin Cowherd. He's making like $10 million a year. And he thought, dude.
Just to say out loud.
Correct. It's my favorite saying. People just be saying.
People just be saying dude. Well, I guess people could argue that we're just saying too, but I like to think we have a little bit of background to supplement our thoughts.
We also don't get paid 7 figures to just say.
You're damn right. That's damn right. Unless somebody wants to.
If you want to pay me 7 figures, I'll say whatever you want me to say.
I'll say literally whatever you want me to say. Yeah.
Couple things from Media Day. Did you see the guy who was going up to every Chiefs player and dogging them about the refs?
No.
Dude, he went up to Travis Kelce's in the front row and he said, "What do you love more, Taylor Swift or a phantom 15-yard pass interference penalty?"
That's so good. Did he have a response, or did he just get out of there?
He just said that's a good one. Who else has another question?
That's so good, man.
That dude's getting banned from media day immediately. He'll never
absolutely.
step foot in press row again.
Did he have like a what was his credential?
I don't know, dude. His mic flag just said sports. It's like old Barstool activities, just going in and doing like that.
Oh, that's so good, though. That's really good.
What did he say to Mahomes? Something like, you obviously love your teammates and everybody involved, but who's your favorite ref?
Oh,
Something
man.
like that.
Oh, just like a subtle blow, just enough to piss him off, but not too much.
And then the guy, I think it's CHGO. They're obviously Chicago-based Bears guys. So, as a Packers fan, I imagine your favorite off-season activity is watching Bears media embarrass themselves.
It's pretty good.
Dude, he went up to Trey Smith, and he's asking him, like, has coming to the Bears ever crossed your mind? Are you going to be a Bear? Are you excited to play for Chicago? Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
Just like eliminating the chance Trey Smith is a Bear next year.
Oh, that's awful, bro. I'm not even like, how does someone get the nuts to do that?
It's boomers, man. They do whatever they want.
Boomers.
Yeah.
Boomers. Boomer sooner. Sorry.
We should get into politics.
You think so?
No.
Oh.
I already got yelled at on Twitter today.
Today you did?
Yeah.
You've been yelled at a few times on Twitter.
I'm constantly getting yelled at, but I bring it upon myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Twitter is it's instant feedback and instant either regret or happiness based off whatever tweet you send out.
Yeah, it's just so easy to play the game. I was born with like a natural knack to piss people off and like find what what doesn't cut them to the core, but like what just gets under their skin a little bit. And
you just latch onto that.
Follow me on Bison Game Days, and if like any of our rivals lose, it's
that's so good.
It's usually I look at it, and if it's under 5 minutes and I see it has 1,000 views, I know it's going to be bad.
Oh,
and then I look at the replies, and it's like 20 replies, and it's just 15. This tweet is from an account you muted. This tweet is from an account you muted. This tweet is from an account you muted.
You be using the mute feature a lot, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. North Dakota, some of those North Dakota follows are tough.
Dude, I will meet people in real life and like they get like the presented version that I put out to people.
Sure.
And then I'm like, they find me on Twitter. I'm like, you're not going to enjoy what you're going to see.
Isn't it funny how like you almost develop an alternate persona sometimes? Because like there's so many people who I could go have a fantastic in-person conversation with and whatever, but then you just go on their socials and you're like, oh my God, you are unbearable.
Dude, it's truthfully like where I can vent. Because like, and maybe this will be my new outlet where I come on and yell. And
there you go.
Mean, if I start doing numbers on TikTok like I do numbers on Twitter, that sounded ridiculous. I'm not breaking the internet on Twitter, but
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Then
that's good.
I mean, it's going to equal attention. I should just follow the formula. This is why I wish I was a stupid person, because I could disconnect that like awareness that I'm just 100%. Saying shit for attention,
right?
And actually not saying what I truly believe.
I'm with you. I think there's a part of me that doesn't give a shit what like I say, or like in the moment I'll feel really like emotional about something, and like when I feel like fired up about something, I'm like other people think. But then 25 minutes later, when I relax and calm down a little bit and I look back at my tweet, I'm like, damn, I could have worded this differently, or whatever the case may be. But
I really have disconnected. One, being self-employed kind of enabled me to do that for a while.
Right.
And I think the only one I look back at, like the last few years, I was a lot more aggressive. I've toned it down. But The only one I really regret was when we beat SDSU in the regular season. And I quote tweeted Mark Gronowski's like great day to be a Jax, horns down. And then I quote tweeted it after he threw the game losing pick with NFL tight end merchant, get the off my field, you bum.
Bro, I remember seeing that and being like, whoa.
Yeah. Hey, I had enough Coors Light in the stadium, and I was tailgating. It was a night game. Remember that?
Yeah.
Everybody.
You're fired up all day, just housing drinks.
That's just like how players shit talk, I feel like. That looks a lot more serious.
For sure.
But, like, that was one of them where I think I checked it after, like, 15 minutes of walking to the bar, and it was at, like, 6,000 views. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I woke up the next day, I'm like, yeah, that if I had a boss, I'd get a call for that one.
Oh, I remember during your... Oh, shoot, what was it? I think it was it COVID season where SDSU lost to Sam Houston in the championship?
Yeah.
I remember I just tweeted the Michael Jordan sad face, or like the crying press conference Michael Jordan face.
Yeah.
With a Jackrabbits logo on his forehead or something. Mm-hmm. And I was delivering ice at the time. Dude, I had a job before grad school where I was riding around in a refrigerated 28-foot box truck delivering ice to bars. It was great.
Hell yeah.
But I remember I tweeted it, and I go out and work for like a couple hours, and I come back, and my phone is just blown up with SDSU fans screenshots of my stats.
Oh yeah,
screenshots of my stats. People just calling me. I mean, you could spout off pretty much whatever, obscenity you want right now, and they said it about me. But what sucks is like I feel I allow that to affect me way too much. So I just need to let go sometimes and not give a shit. But
no, yeah. And truthfully, like, not to get deep, that was like some I had to work on personally of like my disappointment with my college career. But I just like you grow to like accept it. And now I'm
100%.
like, people are like, you barely played. I'm like, you would die to have my life. Like I put that into perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Keyboard warriors, brother.
Yeah, dude. Other like point rule for me on Twitter, if it's not a real person, I'm not engaging.
100%. 100%.
Like, I'm gonna tweet out a burner, and I like, this is the new SEC thing, and like UND does this shit, and it's like I'm not talking to you.
No, you're better than that, huh?
Not only that, dude. Like,
no, I mean, I like you are. Like, I mean, we're better than that, right?
But you're just a dork if you can't put your name and face behind what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like it's already soft enough to just do it behind a screen, even with your name attached, but to not even put your name attached is even more ludicrous.
Right. That's like, I will respect you. Like, if you have a picture of you and your ugly family in your profile picture and it's your name and your, like, what you actually do.
Right.
If you're talking I'll talk back. I'll never be like I'm going to call your job or I'm offended guy. It's just talk. It's Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if it's an AI picture of a jackrabbit, like I'm not engaging.
No, there's no shot, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no shot. Have you used that Grok AI on Twitter at all?
Yeah.
Dude, that is insanity.
Yeah.
You can literally ask that thing anything and it'll generate it for you. Not
to get political, I did I think people have...
It's okay to get political, man.
Well, I preface that because what I'm about to say is hilarious. But I think enough people have messed with Grok enough that if you ask Grok to draw Donald Trump and his best friend, it only populates him and Jeff Epstein.
As it should.
That's good, clean fun.
That is good, clean fun, man. Well, let's get off the social media topic. I mean, people love our Twitter accounts, I'm sure, but maybe not this much.
No, not at all.
I'm trying to think. There were a couple things that we noted down maybe to talk about. One that I really liked that we said is, what NFL team would being a fan of suck the most right now?
Yeah.
Do you have something that's off the top of your head?
I think some of them are recency bias.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't say Chargers fan anymore because, like, the future is bright with us.
It really is.
Just with Harbaugh and, like, the direction of the team. I think we're going to do a lot of good stuff in the draft and free agency this year.
Mm-hmm.
But just thinking of, like, the head coaching debacles, you'd have to think being a Jags fan is miserable. And then,
oh, my God.
dude, being a Saints fan, like, nobody wants to coach your team.
That's a brutal look, huh?
I think they are going to get Kellen Moore, though, right?
You know, I honestly haven't been. I know he was obviously in conversation and whatnot. I haven't been paying attention to their situation enough to know. But, I mean, that seems like it would be a solid hire. I like Kellen Moore and what he's done. But, again,
yeah.
I don't know if that's a... I don't know if that's a situation I'm fired up about being my first coaching gig.
Well, the thing, it's a quarterback-driven league, dude. And if you don't have at least a quarterback you can derive a decent scheme off of, you're just not going to do anything no matter who the coach is.
If you don't have a top 12 quarterback right now, you're not gonna see long-term success, unfortunately.
Who would you put in that top 12? Because this is always interesting to me.
All right, so let's just run through it. It's Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Lamar, it's Jordan Love, Joe Burrow. It's
Don't put Jordan Love in the top 12.
Well, he's in the top 12, man. Come on. I didn't put him in order. He's in the bottom 12. You son of a bitch. Herbert. So there's 7. I mean, then it's like, then who do we go to? We go to CJ Stroud.
Really weird here.
It gets murky. It gets murky from that like 8 to 12 area, and I would put like, or 7 to 12. It's like CJ Stroud, Jordan Love.
Yeah. Is Goff the cutoff?
I'm putting Goff right now in the top 10. So I would say, I'd say Goff's. I'm confident in putting Goff up there.
Sure.
Where it gets tough, it's like then you got to go to the Baker Mayfields, the
Stafford.
Stafford's up there. Stafford's up there. That was just one that kind of slipped my mind, but Stafford's definitely, he's still in that top echelon to me. After watching him the last 2 years and what some of the stuff he's had to overcome on his squad, and like
he's
just
so
the ways,
good, dude.
He's unbelievable, and there's still people that don't see that. I don't know.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. I mean, he could be a first ballot, a fifth-year entry, or a fifth-year retirement entry.
Depends who else goes out with him, but
right.
Like if him and A-Rod go out in the same year, it's going to be tough.
Sure. And then there's another name. Like, is he in that like top 12 right now? I think you still got to maybe put him right inside of it.
Yeah.
Currently, I don't know though.
That's always the question though, is like, what do you value? Do you value talent, or do you value how well they can operate your system?
100%.
Because I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Jared Goff even right now.
Sure.
Thrower of the football.
Talent-wise, right. 100%.
But Jared Goff is more effective for his team than Aaron Rodgers was for the Jets.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about, too. Like, would you be able to put Aaron Rodgers in Jared Goff's shoes and have the success they had this year?
Right.
I don't think so, personally. No. And I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I grew up with him as my, one of my favorite players ever. But you're right. It's the top 12, the top 15, whatever you want to say, that make a franchise right now. Kyler's in there.
Is he?
It's like, that's what I mean. He's like right there. And it's like, is that a guy? I was going to
say him or Dak.
Right. They're right at that cutoff. And it's like, can you win a Super Bowl with either of those two guys? You have to have a uniquely talented and uniquely well coached team to be able to go compete for a championship with those guys, and it's proven.
Right. And that's the whole MVP conversation. I'm a little bit biased because my dad's a Bills fan, and truthfully now, I wish I would have stayed a Bills fan.
Yeah.
But they also suffered for 18 years.
Yeah, it's ebbs and flows, man. And I think you're on the upside right now of being a Chargers fan. I think you're in a good spot. I think
so too. But in the MVP conversation, people talk about whatever value to the team, where would they be? I think, and this is insane to say because Lamar is so good, but is Lamar as good when he's throwing to Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid?
No.
But would the Ravens be better if they had Josh Allen? That's a weird thing to play through.
And I think that's exactly where, as ball knowers and as, I guess just that, as ball knowers, it's that's where you got to realize as a fan and as a spectator of the sport and, for lack of a better term, an analyst of the sport, it's you got to understand that every coach and every coaching staff has so much role to play in what goes on. Sure, I don't think Lamar could step into Josh's position and do as well right now, but
their offense would be completely different if Lamar.
They would completely reshape their offense. And that's the same exact thing with Josh going to the Ravens and so many other things. That's why some of those debates are so asinine. But
and it's unfortunate because when we were growing up, dude, ESPN was the pinnacle of it all. Truthfully, the best sports coverage in the world.
For sure.
Now, because that doesn't get the views that it needs to, it's just all of these binary arguments, and sports, especially football, aren't binary. And we realize that from being in a locker room and the experience in sports that we have, that you can't dilute it to just the quarterback. There's so many factors that go into it. Dude, look at our guy Trey. If they had been running the Brock Purdy offense with Trey, I think he's still starting in San Francisco.
100%. 100%. There's not a lot of people that probably agree with that, but as people who are students of the game, I 100% agree with you.
It was a completely different. Trey was running the ball 15 times. When was the last time Brock Purdy had 15 carries?
That's just ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Circling back on who I would hate to be a fan of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my concrete and foundational answer is always going to be the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
However, currently, and in this, literally this week, this day, I'm pretty excited if I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
With what they got coming. But just in the grand scheme of things and overall being a football fan, man, that season for the Bears just had to be one of the most painful things to watch if you're a Chicago fan.
Yeah, dude, I was going to say it was a swift kick in the nuts, but it wasn't a swift kick in the nuts. It was 12 swift kicks in the nuts.
12 DeAndre Swift kicks in the nuts.
Correct.
Dude.
Because, you just look at all the dominoes again, and we're making it binary, but, they could have had a shot at Saquon. They signed DeAndre Swift. They, again, mismatched drafting a quarterback with a mismatched GM with a mismatched head coach that got fired. Same situation they've been in since Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler.
Rinse and repeat.
They got rid of Cutler. I think Cutler was a John Fox guy. And then they went to, oh my God.
There's that clip of Big Cat going through it all. I can't remember either right now, but it's literally just a rinse and repeat cycle.
Yeah, to Mark Trestman with another mismatched GM. And then the GM doesn't want the head coach, which in turn means the GM doesn't want that quarterback. And I think the real root problem of it is that guys like Dan Campbell and DeMeco Ryans that turn around entire programs within a couple of years is not the norm and is not I think there are coaches that have been fired after 1 or 2 years that could have figured it out down the line as they instilled their program and their culture. But it's such a win now league, and there's not enough win now head coaches, win now quarterbacks, win now offensive lines for guys to be successful.
There's not enough to go around.
Yep.
And like you said, the ones that know what it takes for that situation to happen don't get the opportunities sometimes. It's year 2, year 3, and you're still under 500 and you're gone. Yep. You're done.
Yep. And I think the funny part, especially for Bears fans, like I have kind of been adopted into the NFC North just by living up here. Like I see more NFC North Twitter beefs than I do anybody else.
Right.
But it's so funny that we talk about this cycle with the Bears, and the other part of that cycle is the fans getting hyped up in the offseason and talking shit, only for it to be inevitable letdown during the season.
Absolutely, man. And it's, oh my God, there was when they were 4-2 at the beginning of the year, and they had just capped off a win. I don't know, who was it? Jacksonville in London.
Yep.
They beat the Jags in London to get to 4-2, and the amount of absurdity I saw across my socials was just incredible. And I wanted to I almost was happy for them, because I was like, at least they're getting this little glimpse, this little sunshine peeking through the clouds.
Yeah.
But I mean, almost immediately, I think it was the next week they lost on the Hail Mary.
Correct.
And then 2 weeks later, they lost on the blocked 35-yarder against the Packers.
And then I think the week after that was Thanksgiving when they mismanaged the clock against the Lions.
Yeah. Or some combination of that order.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It just snowballed so fast.
It was so quick. So I think, overall, that's probably still, if I had to be a really sad fan, I think that's where the most sad fans are.
Yeah. And I think
go ahead.
As an objective part of it, like you're an NFC North fan, you're a Packers fan, so it's funny to you when the Bears are bad. Football's cooler when the Bears are good.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's funny you say that, because my dad grew up in a household where football was not like they were Packer fans. They watch Packer games, but like my dad's family was not a football household, which is insane because he went on to do incredible things in the game of football.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so him having that lack of true fandom passion allowed him to kind of be fans of other people throughout his life. And he said one of his favorite teams to watch growing up in the 80s and slightly before that was the Chicago Bears. They had,
how could it not be?
Oh my God. And I remember growing up with it. He had Walter Payton posters in our garage, and he had the Sweetness kangaroo. He was sponsored by that old brand Ruse or Kangaroos or whatever. And seeing those posters around, and he had books and documentary films on him, autobiographies, and I'm like, football is in a better place when the Chicago Bears are successful. And do I want them to be successful for my own, Green Bay Packer fandom? Absolutely not. But you're 100% right, man. This sport is in a better place when the Bears are competitive.
Yeah, dude. And I tweeted it. It was actually kind of cool. Jim McMahon retweeted me.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I my phone started blowing up, and I'm like, what's going on? It was just kind of a throwaway tweet. It was a picture of Ditka, Jordan, and Sammy Sosa and McMahon, I believe, playing golf.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, imagine being a Chicago sports fan in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, man. It's that's the Chicago fan base, all compare to Philly. It's just that we haven't seen that fan base riled up or fired up about anything in 15, 20 years minimum. They had a few playoff runs and whatever, but man, it's tough.
Dude, and it's not just the Bears. I think the real problem with Chicago fans is that the White Sox are the worst organization in sports. The
Cubs went a zillion years.
They got 2016, and I'm a Cubs fan, so I'll hang on to that forever.
Sure.
But they're okay. They're like an 80-win team. And and they won't spend the money, even though they're one of the biggest markets in America, to get a superstar that pushes them over the edge. And dude, just the Bulls refuse to tank.
Right?
And the common denominator between the Bulls and the White Sox is the same owner. It's Jerry Reinsdorf. And
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that.
He's so incompetent and just cares about making money. So like the Bulls being a 41-win team is the perfect scenario for him. But that's horrible in the sport of basketball.
Yeah.
You either
absolutely.
have to be really good where you can get free agent guys to come sign, and honestly, it's not Miami, it's not LA.
No.
It's not a real desirable location to go be in Chicago.
No.
And then the Blackhawks stink. They had a couple of runs where I think they won a couple cups.
They had a few great years for sure in the early mid 2010s.
Yeah, and
they were fun.
But like the last time Bulls basketball was good to watch was before Derrick Rose's knee exploded.
It's unreal,
dude. And like just that little, again, basketball's good when the Bulls are good, but like you had Jordan, obviously, like one of the best players of all time. And then you get Derrick Rose, and you get another little glimpse of a game-changing superstar. And then just I cry every time I see those, like, leave my jacket on the floor. And it's Derrick Rose jumping, dude.
Them sad-ass highlight videos on TikTok. Oh,
so
man.
bad.
Yeah, Chicago's, they're in dire need of something. They're in dire need of something.
It could be Caleb, truthfully.
Dude, I honestly hope it is for him. Like, for my own sake, you know, I hope that success is limited. But I think it's the best option that they've had in a long time. So, I mean, on topic of the NFL here, we've got a couple other notes that I kind of like. I want you. Oh wait, never mind. That one doesn't even work anymore because there's only 2 QBs left. Would you rather have your daughter date Jalen Hurts or Patrick
Jalen Hurts
Mahomes?
by a million miles. You didn't even have to finish the question.
It's not even close.
Patrick Mahomes is the Satan. He's the spawn of Satan.
Okay. Okay. If you had the final 4 QBs in the running, the divisional, or excuse me, the championship round, would that list change? What's your list look like then? Because you got Josh Allen, you got Jaden Daniels, you got Pat Mahomes, and you got Jalen Hurts.
I think.
Don't be racist now.
I was gonna say, at the risk of getting canceled. Have you seen that?
I
guy
love Josh though, man. Damn.
That bit where he's like, you know, Lamar. I just can't get behind a guy like Lamar, but that Josh Allen, he plays football the right way. I think number 1, and it could be tied. I think 1 and 2 are Josh Allen and Jaden. I give Josh the 1 spot because he just seems like he could gas beers with me in the garage during Thanksgiving.
Oh, that'd be fun, huh?
Like a son-in-law who will get after it and knows ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Like guys like us, we're dream son-in-laws.
Absolutely. And that guy, like, dude's a golfer. Dude loves to hammer some beers. Yeah, that's got to be one, unfortunately.
I think Jaden seems like a really cool, mild-mannered guy. Like, I think he, you know, if I say have her home at 10, she's home at 9:55. Same kind of vibe with Jalen. He seems very respectful.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then there's just 1,000 miles of shit, and it's the worst thing to ever happen to America. Patrick Mahomes.
It's so brutal, but
I hate
so
Patrick
right,
Mahomes
dude.
more than I hate like plane crashes and like COVID
Oh my God, that's a lot of hatred.
and like non-meat burgers.
Wow,
What
Yeah,
else do
that's-
I hate less than like
that's a lot of disdain.
homeless dogs?
Oh,
I hate Mahomes more.
yeah, my homeless dogs. Sorry.
Boo. Boo.
You know, I think my list is pretty similar to you, except it's almost like those 3 could kind of tie at the top, except
Yeah.
the only thing I'd say is I don't know Jaden Daniels enough to give a full assessment.
Sure.
And then the other part is like, is Jalen Hurts too handsome?
I was going to say he's like, he could legitimately put your daughter in a mental hospital if it doesn't go well.
Yeah, for
Of
sure, dude.
The bag that she would fumble because he's so handsome.
He's a handsome guy. In fact, I believe my lovely girlfriend Lexi has a crush on him. So that would be really her? No. I mean, I'm damn near right there with her.
The definition of aura, I feel like is
Hurts. The aura is glimmering off those perfectly white teeth and very shiny diamond earrings.
I was gonna say this is a topic that I think you have a little more expertise in your background in hip hop and rap. How white did I sound right there? Hip hop.
You're accurate.
I love those tweets that are like, I know rappers are lying because you look at athletes' diamonds and like
facts.
Those are unreal.
Those things, dude. Justin Jefferson's chains this year, and like, oh my goodness. What did your dog Chase? Just walk in or something?
Yeah.
Oh, Jamar. Yeah, I mean, dude, these guys are getting those things broken off mid-game too. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like nothing to me.
It's nothing to them. All right, let's do.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No. Finish.
No, I was just gonna say, and then like these rappers are like basically indentured servants on how the music industry is set up, and like you obviously need it. Like it's part of the game. You need the jewelry, and then it's just like the cubic zirconias. I don't blame them, man. They owe like $2 million to these labels until they pay it off.
Oh my god, 360 deals and shit.
It's insane.
Yeah, man. I dealt a little bit. This is very long tangent that I'm not going to get into, but I dealt with that music industry for a while, working with Lyrical Lemonade and doing some of the stuff I did when I was living down in Chicago. And oh my god, it's more of an image thing than it is an actual success thing.
They're the biggest scumbags in the world. These like music executives.
Oh, these music execs, the PR teams, dude, it's all a facade. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
All right, backtracking a little bit. There are two kind of segments or notes that I want to get into. We'll start with the NFL one because we were already on that page. If you could draft, well, let's do a snake draft of it. Let's snake draft NFL uniforms. We have here written down in the notes like which color combos would you prefer, but let's just do a snake draft of NFL uniforms because I think that's a good one. And there's a few that are coming to the top of my head that I'm not sure are going to match up with yours. And and if you're biased with your Chargers, that's okay, man, because they're up there. They're up there. So I'll give you the first pick.
Do you want to do current or historical? Both?
Ooh.
Let's do both.
Let's do both. Let's do both. What do you want to do? Three each or something?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay, let's do 3 each guy for both current uniforms and then traditional. You know what? Let's flip a coin.
All right.
How do I ask Siri here to flip a coin? Oh, here we go. Hey Siri, flip a coin. I guess you don't have to say heads or tails. Flip a coin. Tails never fails, buddy. That's what I called. I didn't call it in the air, though. That's kind of bullshit, huh?
Cheating bastard.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start let's start with current.
Yep.
Current uniforms, drafting number 1 overall, I am taking the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I am a massive fan of the All Blacks. I really like the all purples too. I mean, they have a simple model. They stick to it. It's been damn near the same for 25 years. It's timeless. The midnight black, the ability to add the accessories and whatever else you want to look good on a football uniform looks good with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Shout out to Chris Board. That dude rocks it beautifully. I mean, you can't get much better than a black on black on black with, I mean, you could go with the black leggings, the black socks with the black cleats. You could add a little white in there, add a little purple, whatever you want to do. It doesn't get any better than the Baltimore Ravens for me currently.
Yeah, I think one, it just like fits the attitude of the city. Like it just Baltimore, like you come in here, you're gonna get your ass beat.
Edgar Allan Poe, baby.
Correct. And the other, I was thinking more, what's his name? I haven't watched The Wire, but it fits any of them.
Oh my God, any of the characters.
Yep.
But yeah, I love The Wire. Go
And
ahead.
I think the other part of that that speaks to it being a good uniform is, I mean, you and I played with some unique bodies in the locker room. There are uniforms that aren't flattering to everybody. Everybody looks cool in a Ravens uniform.
You're damn right. I think that's a great way to put it.
And I don't know if it's like some fixation I have, but I prefer like symmetry. So the all black is good for that. But the one asymmetrical uniform I dig is when the Ravens go black, purple pants.
Fire.
So good.
Fire. You know, they can pretty much put together whatever combo they want and it looks good. Even with those, you might not be a fan of these, but I sure am. The mustard pants. This was a not a lot of people liked the mustard. I'm a fan of the gold. It's almost like a Dijon mustard pant color, and I was a fan of it. But
yeah, I didn't
anyway.
dig them because when you get sweaty, it gets.
Oh
messes
yeah,
up the
you're
color a
right
little
though.
bit.
You're right. Maybe wear them in the cold.
Yeah,
There you go.
My first pick. Are we taking? Can we pick like specific alternates, or is it the entire teams?
No, you can pick specific ones. There's for the Ravens for me, it was just kind of the whole thing. So
I think home run steal at pick 2 is the Tennessee Oilers.
Mm.
The blue
That's
and
hard
red
to
and
beat,
white
man.
is so good, man.
So good.
It's so good.
How bad did the Texans fumble not doing that colorway for their alternates this year?
I don't think they can.
Can they not? Because the Titans have rights for it?
Yeah, because it's technically their colors.
Right.
Because the University of Houston wore those colors. Mm-hmm. And the Titans sent like a cease and desist.
That's crazy. I remember that.
And as far as I remember, U of H told them to shove it, and then they wore them anyway.
That's awesome. That's how it should be.
I think that's Houston's uniform.
I think so too. The Titans don't deserve that.
No.
Unfortunately.
Especially with how bad their regular uniforms are.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And why didn't they just keep the OG Titans uniforms?
The Eddie Georges?
The Eddie Georges, the Steve McNairs, the Frank Wychecks.
Those were dope, dude. Come
on, man. Those were fire. And it was like you got that late 90s feel from the Jags first uniforms, from the Panthers first uniforms, which they've stuck out their uniforms greatly, by the way. I love the way they've stuck those out. And the OG Titans, and that was like it like symbolized our childhood almost a little bit, that new era of football.
I just go back to like Madden 2005, and it's like like such a nostalgia trip, like thinking going back, like when you'd scroll through teams and it would pop up the helmet.
Man,
so good.
Those are so good.
Same with the Ravens. Like that falls in the
same.
Yeah,
100%. All right. I'll go ahead.
It's my pick, buddy. Snake draft.
Oh yeah, snake.
Jeez,
I don't know how shit works.
To steal part of my takes a whole bit.
God damn it.
I think, man, this is tough.
Hey, take a pause here. I gotta piss.
All right.
All right, we're locked in, folks. Refilling my wine glass here.
Attaboy. Out of the bag?
It's it's a box, but I took the bag out of the box. This is my man. This red wine. What is it called? A red blend from Boda Box. Oh man, me and my roommate Lexi's brother Eric, we eat this up. Anyway,
I'm not enough of a wine snob to dunk on somebody for box wine. I've heard it's decent, so
it's great. It's great. Go ahead. Sorry, your number two. Number two current uniform.
I think number 2 is another home run. I'm putting together a hell of a draft, but I'm going to take the Niners.
Interesting. Okay.
Both the home, road, and the throwback when they do like the drop shadow numbers, all home runs.
That's just a traditional goat.
Again, another nostalgia one too, where like they throw that speckle in the gold, and like when the sun catches it, it's a gorgeous helmet.
It sure is, isn't it? Dang, that's actually a good one that I wasn't necessarily considering before you just said that. That's a good one.
It's mine now.
All right. Moving on to my number 2. I had a thought, but you almost just kind of like changed my thought a little bit. Shoot, man. I think, well, see, now it's hard because you said the Tennessee Oilers, but we're talking about like all time, or it's like current. So can I do alternates that are like,
yeah.
Okay. So I think then,
like if they wear them within the season, I think you can take it.
Okay, that's fair. I gotta go Creamsicle Buccaneers.
Oh, that's a good call.
Creamsicle Buccaneers is going to be my second one. Shout out Randy Hedberg.
Shout out.
Shout out everyone who made that uniform famous. Mike Allstott, John Lynch, all those guys. And then shout out to our brother Cody Mauk, made that thing look crispy.
The 69.
I think I need a 6'9" Creamsicle jersey, man.
I think my most liked tweet ever is when Cody got drafted by the Bucks and they announced the Creamsicles. I tweeted 69 Mauk Creamsicles is about to be the most worn Darty jersey of all time.
Man, that's gotta be right. And especially in Fargo.
Yeah.
With the red, the red hair with the creamsicle and number 69, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
We'll move on here. Let's move along. My number 3 then, my number 3's gotta be the Philly Kelly Greens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are just, those are different. Those are, I mean, they could also, that's the thing though, they could also go as like one of my favorite classic ones.
Yep.
But that Philly Kelly green, it just pops. And I'm a Kelly Green guy.
That's a football uniform.
That is a football uniform with the gray face mask, the gray pants.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, it's just good. And it makes me think of Randall Cunningham.
Yep.
And Reggie White.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so happy. So I think those are my 3, and I'm pretty dang happy with my 3.
Yeah, I think for current ones it's tough because it's this weird mix of teams going with like this odd step into the future, and then also teams that are like keeping it with their roots. So I have a few honorable mentions, but what direction do I want to go here?
There's a couple directions you could go.
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to, I think I know where you're going to go with it.
I don't know. Because I do love like the foo colors sometimes.
Yeah,
but
man.
Man, like eliminate the vibe of the team. And I think the Steelers black and yellow is so good. And I think that's going to be my 3rd picks.
That's hard to beat, especially when you put those, if you made one change to those uniforms, put those old block numbers on that they sometimes wear for the alternate.
Yep.
Put the block numbers on, remove that little weirder font that they have now.
Yep.
Put those block numbers on, and that might be the best jersey in the NFL.
And back to your Eagles pick, by the way, the whole uniform set rocks. Like the midnight green.
Yeah.
Like their regular home ones rock too.
Fantastic. Yep. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Steelers. There's a couple good AFC. It's a great AFC North. Besides, I guess even the Browns are good now. So
yeah, with the white face mask,
yes.
that completely changed the whole vibe of the Browns uniforms. Yep. The white face mask.
It's so good.
Okay, let's do one more segment here. This is something a little bit more personal to us and to our soon-to-be really loyal NDSU fans.
Yes,
I want to do a draft of sorts to make our all-NDSU team. Now, I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. I think maybe we do one from each skill position on offense. Maybe
one offensive lineman.
Yeah, what do we do? One or two O-linemen?
Yeah, we could do two for O-line and D-line.
Let's do two for O-line, D-line, and then in D-line, does that include DNs?
Yes.
Yep, and then one
God
for each.
Intended.
Yep, and then one for each of the skills. Do we want two linebackers, one linebacker?
Let's go one linebacker.
Cool. All right, let's do it. You can have the honors since I got the first one. We're going to snake draft it, and I'm going to note these down for us so we don't lose our place here. Now, bear with us if you're listening, and we're a little slow on this, but this is our first time. We're going to have fun with it.
Yes. I think 1-1, building a team to win one football game with, I'm taking Trey Aubrey.
Trey Aubrey, man. Took him off the board, huh?
One of the most unbelievable football players I've ever seen in my life.
It's incredible what he did, huh?
Yeah.
2019. I mean, legitimately one season.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And that's the what could have been if he stayed for a couple more years. And I get it. Like it's a pure business. He doesn't know if he's going to come back and something bad happens or he has a down year and he's a second round pick. Get your money while you can. But if we saw 4 years of Trey Lance, there wouldn't have been a record in FCS football that would have been touchable.
No, absolutely not. And that's saying something with the guys who are at the top now.
Correct.
Oh, man. So, okay, so that's a first off, phenomenal first pick. Second off, do we have to go in position order or can I bounce around to any positions?
Yeah, bounce around.
All right. I think for my first pick then, the most game-changing guy that I can think of for our squad, I got to go Marcus Williams at corner.
Yep.
I'm going defense first since we're only doing one corner. For me, obviously we played with a lot of fantastic defensive backs in our era, and there were a lot of fantastic defensive backs just in general, but Mark Will was so above and beyond any other guy. I think he's the difference maker, the guy that is going to pick the ball 7-8 times for me in a season, and I think that's my guy.
And he'll crib 3 of them.
Exactly. So I'm
also you get a kick returner out of him.
It's a ballsy pick, but I think I'm going Mark Will.
Are we going one corner, one safety?
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
2, I'm taking Christian Watson.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
We're just going to run 9 balls and slant RPOs. So if you're pressed, he's running by you. If you're getting some soft cushion with Mark Will, we're throwing slants, and I don't know who's catching Christian.
No, there's not. There's probably not anybody who's catching Christian. Jet sweeps.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think also, to elaborate on your Mark Will, I wasn't of ball-knowing age to appreciate when he was here. Mm-hmm. But I think a guy, he was 6'2", rangy, and just like a true ball hawk in every sense of the word. I think if he played in today's day and age, he'd be like a first or second round pick.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's nothing to take away from his NFL career that he had too, because I mean he had a 5-pick season in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's incredible, bro. That's incredible. All right, you got C-Watt. I love that pick for you. I'm gonna go back to some bread and butter here, and oh man, I'm honestly having second thoughts now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going QB. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I gotta go East.
Yeah,
I'm going East and stick, and that is solely because my dog has that dog.
Correct. He's a winner, man.
He's a winner. He's the winningest of... No, he's not anymore, huh?
Tied.
Or is he? He's still tied.
Yep.
He's still tied.
Thanks to the boys.
So still the winningest QB of all time. Just watching that guy in practice and on the field every single day was an absolute treat, and that's one of the best football players. One of the best football players I've ever seen in person. So
he was like
pro's pro.
Truly the best role model you could have in your locker room of how to play football and how to go about your business. And it's no surprise that like he's worked out an NFL career the way he has.
Solidified one.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm saying on the offense.
Wait, hold on here. Are we just alternating?
Yeah.
Did we? Yeah,
we're not snake drafting.
Yeah.
We messed it up again. All right.
Whatever.
So real ball knowers will understand how good Pat Pascal was.
See, and I guess I'm not enough of a ball knower.
Dude, quite possibly one of the most gifted humans to ever step foot on the field in Fargo. But I'm going to take proven success, and we're going to stick with Johnny Crockett at running back.
That one's hard to beat there, huh?
Hell of an offense I'm putting together.
This offense is stacked right now. I think maybe
a lot of
we
good
just
football players in NDSU.
No shit, huh?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thunk? All right, I'm gonna go wide receiver, and I am gonna go Darius Shepard.
Good call.
Easton with Shep was kind of my reasoning for going Easton too. I think my like what am I trying to say? Like my synchronization of my offense is going to be phenomenal with Easton and Shep.
I tried to describe that to people that like Shep was not like a groundbreaking athlete, but the chemistry those two had, I don't know what combination could be better.
I was at 4th of July with Easton up in DL 2 years ago, 2 years ago, and I asked him what the most easy or like the most fluid, I can't remember, like his favorite. Oh, I remember what it was. I was like, what was your favorite, or what's been your favorite wide receiver to ever throw to? Because obviously he's had some guys that he's thrown the football to, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, you name it. And the dude answered Darius Shepard.
Yeah.
And that's just like, that's phenomenal. Obviously the guy's an NFL talent, whatever, but it just goes to show, man, it's all about what we were talking about. Timing, familiarity, all that. Go ahead.
I'm going to defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive end.
Okay.
Talk about game breaker. Just a guy who, like, when he really wanted to step on, he could take over the game. I'm taking Derek Tuska.
That was going to be mine. Son of a bitch.
Underrated football player in the grand scheme of NDSU things.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't exactly know what his situation was, the last few years, but a guy that made a name for himself in the league, a guy that was obviously better than everyone on in the last few years of my career. I mean, that guy was just absolutely dominant.
He was another guy that, like, when you saw him stand up next to other regular athletes, you're like, that is not from the same planet.
No,
like 6'5", yoked out of his mind.
First time I ever saw him was the June coming into my freshman year, and I walked into the Kmart, and he was the first guy I saw, and I'm like, oh, geez, these juniors and seniors or whatever are really huge. Turns out he was younger than I was.
Yeah.
So, great pick.
Best lettuce in the game, too.
Best lettuce in the game, and didn't even have to try.
Correct.
Just natural.
Blessed.
Shoot, man, I have so many thoughts here. Okay, I think I'm going to go linebacker. And I'm going to go Joe Mays.
Interesting.
I have so much love for my guy Dukes and for Brillo. But there's something that sticks in my head about watching those old Code Green highlight videos and Joe Mays. And then obviously seeing the NFL career he had. What was he, 12 years in the league?
Something like that. Yep.
Something like that, man. Yeah, that was a fun guy to watch. Obviously, I didn't get to see him in person much, but I'm going Joe Mays.
Absolute thumper, too.
Oh, those old Code Green highlight videos were incredible.
Yeah, they said when like him and T-Roll would meet in the hole, it sounded like an explosion.
I could only imagine 2 days with those boys.
Ugh. Like both those guys running behind their pads. Like something's got to give.
Thanks. No thanks.
Yeah.
Zach, I think we try to shorten this a little bit.
Yes. We can skip offensive line if you want.
No, let's do an all-lineman because that's where a lot of our good guys come from. But maybe we just do one guy per position. And,
sure.
Yeah, okay.
As far as like Bison, I don't know if there's a bigger face on the Mount Rushmore than Cordell Volson. I think if you look at it from an NFL draft scout perspective, he wasn't as polished as some of the other guys that came out. He wasn't, maybe not even as talented as a lot of these other guys. But if you want to set the tone and want somebody to lead your football team, it's 67 all day.
It sure is, man. You're damn right. You didn't say nothing wrong there. I am just going an old-fashioned and just beat you with, oh my God, just sheer power and determination. I'm going, my running back is T-Roll.
Good call, yeah.
Yep. There's nothing else to say there other than, I was thinking Lipke,
sure.
Hunter.
Yep.
I was thinking, you could throw a Bruce in there. You could throw a Sam O'Jury in there, but in terms of guys who are going to break you down and win you a game, it's T-Roll.
Yeah.
So that's my thought there.
Again, bleeds green and gold, no matter where he is.
Sure does, man.
That's like a Cordell type pick.
Shout out to the Cyclones too this year.
Yeah, good squad.
Fun watch.
Okay.
A lot of ways you could go here. There's some big names left on the board.
Big time.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go linebacker, and I'm just going to take Brillo.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just, you talk about Swiss Army knife. Kind of that, like, Isaiah Simmons type guy. Could cover anybody on the field, but could also, like, really rush the passer if you needed him to. He was unbelievable.
That's an athlete where that was the first athlete that I really experienced at NDSU where I was like, this guy does not belong here.
Yeah.
This guy, is just different than every single one of us on the field.
There's a lot of examples, but the most like glaring one of us outkicking our coverage in recruiting is Brillo, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Dude was a quarterback about to commit to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Blows out his knee in basketball.
Was also that's shown by his success at his year at LSU as well.
Absolutely. Bo Pelini just kind of cooked that team that year, though. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay. He went Brillo. I'm going to go. Oh, man. I think I'm going to go with. I'm going to go another O lineman. Oh man, this is kind of tough.
A lot of good ones to pick from.
Oh, I'm gonna go Joe Hag, Super Bowl champion Joe Hag.
Almost caught a tutty in the Super Bowl.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Damn, I almost want to take my pick back, but Joe is that guy, and I'm sticking with Joe. It was between him and Billy.
Yeah.
And I went Joe. I mean, you could throw Rado in there. You could throw Gray Zabel in there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm going Joe.
I think Joe and Cordell are kind of in the same conversation.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Same neighborhood. And then Billy and Rado, just as far as like natural gifted talent athletes.
Gifted. Yeah.
It's those two.
All right, Zach, you got tight end. Safety,
Corner.
and corner left.
Yep. A lot of freaks at tight end too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough group to break down. But I'm going to take Benjamin Ellison. Just as far as,
son of a.
as far as blocking, catching, leadership, every part of it. You want a guy like Benji on your team.
Shout out to the guy Benji.
Yes.
Getting married this upcoming year. Good for him.
Good for him.
Also working with the Vikings. Great
Shouts.
for him. Loves his job. I went and golfed with him this summer a few times. Lives only like 15 minutes away from me.
Seems much happier in his role that he is now.
Yeah. For sure. I'm gonna follow you on the tight end train. This one's kind of tough. There's a lot of guys that are kind of like right in that same wheelhouse of both talent and leadership and, et cetera, et cetera. And I think I'm going to go for versatility's sake and for familiarity with my quarterback's sake. I'm going to go Jeff Ilias.
Good call.
I love Jeff. That's my guy.
Another underrated Bison.
Super underrated, and you can split the guy out. He'll block for you. He'll do whatever you need, and that's my guy.
Steve the Pirate.
Steve the Pirate, baby.
I think I've heard him say maybe 50 words total.
Total. Yep.
Yeah, he's the man.
All right, you got D-line, corner, safety.
Yeah, have to shout out the boys in my class too, Josh Babich and Gindy. Not a bad tight end class as far as that recruitment.
Kidding me?
Just a side note on Josh Babich. I watched him my freshman year. We were volunteering for the Special Olympics. I watched him take a 15-pound medicine ball and dunk it on a 10-foot hoop. And I was like, oh
my God.
Okay.
Different.
Yep. Okay. I mean, you picked these guys early, so I really have my pick. You could go C.J. Smith. You could go Grimsley. I think I'm going to take Jay Hayes.
Josh Hayes?
The boy, yeah.
At corner, obviously.
One of the most... Yeah, corner.
Yeah, you're saying corner, yeah.
One of the... You just talk about Bison pride of, like, freshman Josh Hayes getting thrown out there in the playoffs and then sticking the Dickinson brothers twice on the same play, on a critical play on the goal line against JMU or whatever those big-ass receivers are called. Mm-hmm. And stuck the one to defeat the block and then had a TFL on the bubble. It was one of the more impressive individual effort plays that I've ever seen. And you want a guy like that. Also, like, stereotypical corner, and it's why he is where he is, of, like, every room he goes into, he truly believes he's the baddest in the room. And that's what you need out of a corner.
You have to. Yep. You have to have that, and I was just going to say that was one of the few guys where I saw come in as a true freshman immediately in fall camp and, like, still thought he was the best guy out there.
Yeah.
And, like, that's so rare.
You
and
can't
then him
fake that, dude.
No, for him to be able to start as a true freshman in that natty in 2017, I mean, incredible.
Yep.
Okay. You know what, Zach? You already took a D end. Let's just stick to one D line and include the D end there.
Yes.
So you just have safety left. I've got a D lineman left. I am going to go. Oh, man. I'm just so recency biased. Like, it's hard. Okay, I'm going to go safety. And I'm going to go. I'm gonna go Craig Dahl.
Oh, no way.
Is that who you were gonna take?
Yeah, that's so nasty by you.
I just again, one of these guys that I remember seeing the highlights on, seeing all the plays, obviously not being there to witness it in person, and then seeing him in the league for damn near a dozen years, whatever
Super Bowl
it was.
champion.
Super Bowl champ. So that's my safety.
Wow, I didn't expect that pull from you, to be honest.
That's all right, man.
By the way, talk about recency bias. Like, I think you could do this in eras of the Bison, of like 80s
sure.
to 90s to 2000s
For
to
sure.
now.
Yep.
I won't spoil it, but I think there's a D-line pick that you won't take that should have gone and is on the Mount Rushmore Bison. I'll just tease it that way.
Oh, I already know.
Safety for me, again, just pick of the litter here. A lot of good football players. Another guy that he's back in Fargo now. Bleeds green and gold, leadership, quarterback of the defense. I'm taking Duds. Christian Dudzik.
Yep. You could have went about 4 different routes there, and they would have all been great.
Can't go wrong with Grimsley, Jimbo,
Demp.
Yeah, all of them.
All those boys. Nick Schomer. How about that?
Yep. Schomer. Yep.
Schomer?
Yep.
Schomer. Sorry, Nick. I'm going Phil Hansen.
Yeah. There it is.
For my D lineman. Yeah, I figured that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, I'm glad because he is a Mount Rushmore guy for Bison football.
I had Perry in my mind, and I had Kyle Emanuel.
Oh yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, even thought about Greg Menard, some guys like that. But
love to the D tackles, Stides, Tangway,
Levon.
Yep, Levon, Sexy Man Bear Pig.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
Yep.
Well, I think that's a great way to cap this off. I mean, that kind of went a little longer than we thought, but fun.
Yes,
fun.
absolutely.
Hopefully some NDSU people enjoyed that.
Past
if
your
anyone
bedtime.
listens to this. It is past my bedtime, 8:54. Holy shit. I've got 2 glasses of wine in me. I'm going to go watch some, what's it's called? Severance.
There you go.
Watch Severance.
Yep.
Finishing up season 1, catching up with season 2. Going to watch some Severance. I really hope that everyone enjoys this. I just enjoy getting on here and shooting the shit and talking ball and talking about random stuff. So hopefully we can keep this thing going. Let us know any thoughts you may have, any segments you might want us to do, whatever the case may be. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Zach, you got any closing words?
If you didn't enjoy it, you. We're going to do it anyway.
That's exactly my thoughts. Not really, because honestly, I think way too much about what people think about me. So I'm working on that.
Why would you say that on the internet?
Well, it's just the way it is. Sorry. But anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back.
Yes.
We will be back. We will be back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stay tuned to all of our socials too. We're gonna try to bang out some socials, some clips, all that and good stuff. So,
hell yeah.
Thanks again. This was the Role Player Podcast. I am Jaxon Brown, and he is Zach Willis. Brought to you by Big Deck Barbecue Sauce. Brought to you by Muse Media Collective. See ya.